welcome back to another episode of the Otafest podcast. You're here with Nancy.
Yay.
Angelo.
Woo!
Dio.
Yay!
Jay.
Oh, that one.
Actually, a weird but stupid story, of course. I used to have a coworker, and he came from Mexico, so he had very much a Spanish accent, and he would pronounce all of his
J's
words.
like Y's?
Yeah, J's like Y's.
Yeah.
So I joked that he was always very happy to see me because anytime he saw me, he'd be like, "Yay!" And I was like, "Hey, Tony."
Oh my god.
That
great.
is
It's cute,
awesome.
right?
That is adorable.
Yeah. Before we get too far ahead,
We have
you
news.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I love news.
Yeah. Angelo, I think you have news for us, right?
I have news?
You do.
That's my favorite.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Angel passes are still available, but there's only a handful left, so get yours now.
Oh, no.
What does an angel pass do? Front of line benefits, reserved main event seating, and a portion goes directly to charity.
Oh, my.
Get your angel pass. Only a limited number remain.
There's literally less than 10 left.
Oh, my goodness, really?
There's
Yeah,
probably
they're
going to be like
disappearing.
5
Holy
by the
cow.
time.
So if you're
that-
gonna get one, you better get one.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Angel Passes and charity,
Ooh.
Otafest is really excited to announce our partnership with Skipping Stone.
Yay.
This is our charity for this year. Yay!
Woo!
Skipping Stones connects trans and gender diverse youth, adults, and families with comprehensive and low barrier access to the support they need and deserve. Empower, support, and love.
Yeah. Always the forever reminder to pre-purchase your single day or weekend admissions at otafest.com. Weekend passes are still on sale for $55, and that's $5 off the door price. You can use that $5 to do anything else with it, basically.
Spend it at Artist Alley.
Yeah. Or you can save another $5 and you can go to the sketch drive, and then you can get your commissioned sketch of yourself. And some of that will go to charity too. So
Buy merch.
lots of ways to do that.
Engage
Otafest.com.
in capitalism.
Yes, but charitable.
Charitable capitalism.
Charitable.
That's the best kind.
Right.
If it's for charity. But also, congratulations on the engagement!
No.
What?
No. No.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
No.
We were kidding.
Jay said that, and I was like, first I heard of this.
Hot
Yo,
take.
no, but seriously, the other day where
With that
you guys were
Twitter
just seeing
exchange.
rings. Yeah, you were
but
seeing
also
a bunch of
there
like.
was a Twitter exchange about rings, and I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the universe is like being like, is like hitting us with the stick and is like, come on, do something already.
Oh, right. There was that email that I got. Okay, so let me just give
Back up there.
So about 5 or 6 years ago, I get an email out of the blue from this one guy talking to his daughter Amy, telling her that she keeps smashing her cell phones and how she's being horrible, and
She's
if
just
she doesn't fix
irresponsible.
her act, she's gonna get kicked out of the family. And I'm just like, holy cow, what the hell's
Whoa.
going on?
Okay.
So I just email back.
Whoa.
Being like, hey dude, I know what it's like. I work with cell phones, I sell them for a living, but I'm not your daughter Amy.
Oh,
And,
no.
So we actually had an email exchange going back and forth.
Oh, damn.
Because
think
like,
he
I
just
had the
sends-
same last name as them.
Oh,
That's how
yes.
it got to
And
me.
his name is Angelo, so it was, first initial, last name.
Ah.
So it made sense why there was the mix-up.
Yes. Okay.
And you think that would have been the end of it, because that was like 7 years ago. That was like 2012.
Okay.
Right.
A
Holy
few
cow.
months later, I get a newsletter with her name on it.
So she signed up
And
for
so it's like,
newsletters
what
with
the
your
hell?
email address.
And then a few years later, I get an email from like a jewelry store where they sketched out a ring design for her.
What?
And I'm just like, wow, Amy's really going hard
She's
on this.
moving on.
Moving on in
Yeah.
her life.
Yeah.
And so like,
Wow.
I'm just keeping up with this
with
person
the
who
saga
lives in
of
like
Amy.
the southeast United States. and apparently she got the ring 6 months ago. Congratulations, Amy.
Congrats, Amy, wherever you are.
Yeah, and so her jeweler was reaching out for her checkup on the ring. I guess I've never bought like a super
But
expensive
I've
ring
gotten
like that.
so many women's health emails.
That is-
I think Amy doesn't know her actual email address.
I don't think so
That's-
either.
Okay, so,
Uh.
what?
Okay. Finish your story.
Okay.
No,
I have
you did
trauma.
not.
I have trauma.
You did not.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
So
finish.
we've been following the saga of Amy, and I didn't realize that, like, apparently when you get a big fancy ring like that, you go after you're using it for a little bit to the jeweler and they check it up. Like, they check the stone placing, they make sure the stone isn't loose or coming out and stuff, just to, like, ensure the longevity of your ring. Like, they polish it and stuff. Like,
They probably clean all the lotion out of it.
yeah, like, they clean all the stuff, they make it a nice...
Get all that skin out.
Get all those
Ew.
oils out.
But yeah, so Amy is due for her engagement ring checkup. Google Ads has been showing me nothing except engagement rings for the past couple of months, which
Whoa.
is a lot to deal with.
Whoa.
And yeah, so like the universe is just the universe isn't even poking
Did
me and
you see
Angela
the-
with a stick. The universe is
They're like
coming
taking
at
a
us
pitchfork.
with a metal bat, and they're like, "Do something."
Did you see the Domino's ring?
Okay,
What?
no.
Domino's? Here, let me pull up
Wait,
their
It's like
Domino's,
Domino's
the
pizza?
pizza place?
Yeah, Domino's. So let me
Is
hold
it a
up-
Miku ring?
Oh
ring.
no.
I wish it was a Miku ring.
Is
Oh my
it-
god, I would
is it a
love
Domino's
a Miku
Miku
ring.
was the
is
best
it a
thing
pretzel
ever.
ring?
It's
It's
literally
not-
a
Oh,
pizza.
no.
It's a pizza ring
Oh,
that
no.
they designed down in Australia. So I think that's
I actually
so there's
kind of
like
like that.
diamonds
That's
on the
so
left and right there,
cute.
and then I think the cheese is gold.
Gold. It
And then
looks
you've got
like the
rubies and inside
pepperoni.
diamonds.
That's
Yeah.
so pretty. It's
Yeah, you got
actually
pepperoni
so
rubies.
elegant.
I would never
Damn.
propose to Dio
It's
with
$9
that.
grand.
Ew.
But I
That's
would
too
wear
much.
that. I would wear that.
I would wear that if it was like $90 instead of $9,000.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention
Oh
Angelo's
my
cheap.
god. There are shots of
It's
the
very
intended
real.
person, the
It's
intended
very real.
recipient is wearing
Like
it.
I don't mind that. That's
It's
kind
super
of
cute.
great.
It actually does not look that bad on
It
it.
It looks
doesn't.
really
I think
pretty.
It
on
looked
its
a lot
own-
worse in the box.
I think on its own, it's sort of almost it looks gaudy.
It looks
but
gaudy and
it's
taggy.
weird that on
Once
the,
it's
on
on
the
the
finger-
person, it's
What
like
you're saying
subtle.
is that this slice of pizza is rather tasteful.
Twist his nipple.
You're the
Nipple
only person in the
shame.
room who's allowed to do that, Dio.
I did it. Don't
Yeah.
worry. For
Uh,
great justice.
So I have some bad news about Amy Vanderbeck.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
At least one of them is dead.
Oh,
What?
no! Well, I hope it's not this Amy. I hope
I
she didn't get
literally
engaged, get her
I
ring, and then...
googled it because I was like,
You
Wait,
know.
did you just dox me?
no,
Oh,
because
no.
you're the, on the.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows my first and last name. by now.
Your first and last. Everyone's first and last name is on the credits,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
so everybody knows.
Shit.
And
I mean-
besides, all you have to do is go to like the Otafest website, and I think the staff credits. Are
Oh, yeah,
there.
the staff
Oh,
credits are there,
yeah.
too.
Okay.
That's true.
So
Plus, we're all fairly recognizable. It's not like anybody would miss us if they actually knew what we looked like.
yeah.
True.
But what if they find out I'm bald?
She drowned.
I
She
think
drowned?
I think you just doxed
That's
yourself there, good
horrific.
sir.
She drowned.
Oh God.
When?
Last year.
Oh God.
Okay, that's definitely
not
not
her
our
then.
Amy.
Yeah. Still sad though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Big
night,
rip.
sweet
Ooh.
Press
Amy's
F.
of the world.
F.
Good night. Ooh, press F to pay respects.
Anyway.
So okay, sorry. Since we're on the subject, so
Okay.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Wait,
This-
what?
This is
Oh, that subject.
yeah. Valentine's Day is coming up. This
Uh.
is your 2-day warning. You've been warned.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
2 days.
Happy for those who are by their lonesome, either by choice or
You can
because
take
they
that
want
warning.
to be. Happy Singles Awareness Day.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't single, clip your fingernails.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. So
Pineapple juice.
how do you guys feel about how cliche and commercialized Valentine's Day has become?
Fuck it.
I think
have-
has it
If
ever
you
not
have
been?
fun, you're doing it right.
You say that. Like I think in my whole lifetime, Valentine's has always been commercialized.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Like
In
there's
fact,
never
I
been
spend
not
less money on Valentine's Day now
than
than when I was in like grade school buying like boxes of Dragon
Oh,
Ball Z Valentines, and
true.
everyone had to get one, and
Yeah.
everyone had to get some candy too.
yeah.
And it was like, holy, and if you didn't get as much as everyone else, you felt bad about it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Valentine's
was
Day
cool.
as like a third grader is awful.
It is.
It is.
This is true.
As an
I think you
adult,
just-
I don't mind it.
As
I'm like,
an adult, I just buy
Yeah,
discount
but you
candy
guys
the
are-
day
you guys
after,
are
and me
together.
and Dio
Yeah.
stay in bed.
you guys
Yeah,
are together.
I do like
Nancy's
this guy.
married. I'm single.
I
And
do
I
love
kind of
discount
just-
candy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
I view it as like the same thing as like Easter or like what's the other one that does candy?
Halloween.
Oh.
How do I forget that? I don't know.
Oh.
But it's like
About Easter
discount. It's like
before
discount.
Halloween? What kind of
discount
heretic
candy
are you?
Yeah, discount candy or whatever. And I don't know. Like speaking from like a single standpoint, like I think in the last 5 years I've probably been on 2 dates that actually happen or either on or around like Valentine's or whatever. But on the whole, it's very like. It's the same thing to me as first of all, it's not an actual holiday,
Nope.
right? So
Indeed.
no, there's no stat or anything
I'm
regarding
actually
that.
working this Valentine's Day.
Indeed.
Joy.
So am I, but you know, the other thing is just it's no different to me than Mother's Day or Father's Day, where it's just like you have these people that you love in your life.
It's
maybe
a day
you
where you're
just-
show
supposed to go
affection.
in.
yeah,
Or
you sort of
affection.
don't you don't recognize or you don't go out of your way as often.
So it's a specific
Yeah.
reminder that hey, you should show
But it's
the
yeah.
romantic person in your life.
The commercial part of it is just like whether you want to buy into it or do you just want to go to the store, buy a couple of ingredients, make something at home, and have something nice. Like the
So-
commercialism is whether you want to invest into it or not.
or not. So for me, I don't really care. It's not like a real holiday. I just think it's like any other of the non-real holidays. It's either like a nice day to just remember to do something, or like an excuse to drink a bunch of wine with people. Like, great, I love excuses
It's a
like
perfect
that.
excuse to have a good time.
It is. It's a great excuse to have a good time.
Right.
I've never really been into the like get a really difficult reservation at a fancy restaurant. Like,
I've done
I don't-
that.
I
Like,
don't care. I've never
I've
done
gone
that.
out of the way.
But heart-shaped boxes of chocolate.
They're so yummy.
Yo.
They're so gaudy.
What's wrong with that?
They're just gaudy.
I don't know.
Cliche.
So last year,
Uh-huh.
I did not have a Valentine. I wasn't seeing anyone at that moment, and
Aw.
I went to Shoppers Drug Mart and I was like, oh, maybe see if I can get some. Or no, it was Safeway, and I was like, maybe I'll browse like the discount area, see if there's any chocolate. And they had these Ferrero Rocher boxes
Mm.
that were like they probably had about 9 or 10 like pieces in each, and they were like $3 each. So I bought
Ooh.
like 10.
Damn.
and I
Yummy.
threw a
Good
bunch.
score.
I threw a
Oh,
bunch into the freezer.
shit.
But it was funny at like the till. They're like, "Oh, who's the lucky girl?" I'm like, "Me.
Me. I am.
Me.
I'm the lucky girl."
I'm the lucky.
I'm dating.
Look at all this
Yeah.
stuff that was just on
I got
sale. All I have to do
$30
is
worth
buy
of
it.
chocolate.
I'm
or I
dating
got,
3 people.
Yeah,
me,
500.
myself,
I got,
and
I got like $70 or $80 worth of chocolate for $30. I was
nice.
like, me the lucky girl.
Yeah.
the
me.
luckiest.
Hell yes.
Yes.
So I was very happy about that. So that's my
Valentine's
major
Day
advice.
antidote.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know anybody who's like particularly like Valentine's Day is like I don't know married people or dating people or single people who are like Valentine's Day is a be all end all, it's the most important day. But for me, one thing that is nice is me and Angela have this really dumb tradition that started by accident. We didn't plan it, but our first Valentine's Day together, we made each other handwritten, hand drawn cards.
Cute.
And I still have mine. I don't know if I think Angela does
I've
still
got
have
them.
his. And we've done this. We did it one year, and we were like, okay, well, let's just keep doing it. So we've done it every year for the past 7 years. We just hand draw these cards, and it's fun. Like, it's probably like one of the most fun parts
It
of
is
Valentine's Day.
scrapbookable. You have like
She's
a
calling
really
me
nice
out,
memento.
guys. I didn't draw one last year. I guess I have to do it now.
What?
Oh, you didn't? I don't remember.
Clearly, she didn't remember.
I thought you did.
I didn't make an impact. I've got to change my ways.
Your impact was so low that she didn't even notice that you didn't do it.
Ouch.
Destroyed.
F for effort.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Make something in Microsoft Paint and then print it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 There you
Make a
go.
pixel art thing.
I could.
Ooh.
What's the worst Valentine's gift? That was like not like a school sort of thing where it was like mandatory or whatever. But do you
Oh,
have the
shit.
worst Valentine's gift that you've ever received?
Okay, I have
I don't think
one.
I've ever received one that's really bad.
When I was in university, a friend of mine who liked me but I didn't like him asked me out on Valentine's Day with like a
Ooh.
red teddy bear and
Ooh.
a card with a handwritten
But that's not
poem.
the worst gift. That's just a bad
And
scenario.
It was just a bad scenario and I
Right.
didn't know what to do.
Oh, that's so awkward.
Did you say yes?
I said
For a
I
date?
wasn't looking for a relationship right now, and I think he took that as a
Oh, I come ask next
I'll
week.
come ask next week.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, it was
Oh,
it was
that's
a
I
little
will say,
bit,
and I'm
mm.
and I don't want to blast too hard here, but girls for all like of the attention in that sort of arena that they might receive, girls somehow are also the worst at saying no.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
think that you would just
No,
say?
no, okay,
I think you would
wait,
just
wait.
get you like personally.
They
I
feel
feel
like they're
hold on,
under
hold on, hold
pressure
on.
to sugarcoat it.
The idea.
So let me explain. Let me back up and give you some context.
Right, but I'm
You know,
just give me
context. Okay, go ahead.
give me
You
a
first,
sec.
you first,
It's just the idea that like the volume or like the repetition or like even hearing from other girlfriends about the idea that this is something that can happen somewhat with frequency, and then wanting to just say no to it, but then you just every time I hear a story, it's like Nancy's situation right there, where it's just difficult to be like, nah.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think this is just kind of like a residual
Like
symptom of like
Conditioning.
the way society
Social
is
conditioning?
and social
Yes.
conditioning, because there is the expectation. It's becoming less and less and less as time goes on, right? We're letting go of the way that we think men and women or non-binary people or
interact.
anybody should be or should interact. So now
Yeah.
we're being more okay with men don't have to be chivalrous and buy the first dinner every single time. Women can pay for the date. Women can ask men out. People can ask each other out. Blah, blah, you know what I
Women
mean?
can propose to
I feel
men.
like
But-
whoever offers the date should be paying for it.
I agree, but
if
that's
they're not going like halvesies.
yeah,
If you
I
haven't
agree.
agreed to do so,
I
yeah.
agree, right? But like that's a new idea. Like that
But
wasn't a thing.
but that's the other thing where it's like a lot women still don't tend to ask guys as often as
yeah,
as a
exactly.
girl
and I
as a guy
do
would
think
ask, and then therefore the guy would
pay
end up
first.
paying.
Yeah.
I do think it's a social conditioning thing
It
because
is.
women, like, especially if you grow up female, like you're raised female, you're treated as female your whole life by everyone around you, there is the expectation for young women and little girls to be polite and quiet
Subversive.
and demure, and yeah, so it can be
Not
hard, I
subversive,
think.
but
Submissive.
Submissive. And
That's
so
what
it gets hard when you become an adult. Suddenly now you're no longer expected to be that person. Like you're expected to put your foot down and say no. And it can be kind of hard and intimidating because you like imagine if you've spent your whole life being told that you're supposed to say yes or not. I mean, essentially
Not
you're
say
told
no.
not to say no.
Right.
But then now you
And-
have to say no.
and-
It's hard to. It's a hard thing to learn.
And I will also add that there's a pressure on young women, any women really, that if you're going to say no to something, you have to say it nicely because otherwise then
Yes.
you're labeled a bitch.
True.
And then it's terrible because it's like, but why
Well,
can't
like,
I just say no?
well,
I would argue that do it anyway.
Oh, I don't
Because
disagree.
I was-
Be-
You
When-
should do it anyway.
As
But
a
it's
guy,
hard
I've been
to.
in this situation before
Where
where
you're
I
the-
could not take the hint, where I needed a fucking sign almost.
Oh no.
Hey, I
and
wonder
so
who
it's
he's
just a
talking
matter
about.
of,
Ooh.
and so like your ladies, your rejection. Imagine you've spent 3 hours sharpening a knife.
Yeah.
Your rejection should feel like plunging that knife into their eye socket and then twisting them.
Yeah, you see,
It should leave them a broken husk slumped onto the ground.
You sound like
no
you're
one wants to do
Literally.
that.
No
Here's
one
the thing,
wants
here's
to
the
do
thing.
that. No one wants to be that psychopath
I've-
stabbing someone in the eye.
I've
And please don't. I'm not advocating violence.
Yeah.
But your rejection should make them feel like that.
I don't want to
But-
like. I've never been in that situation because I am at least aware of like wants or whatever, and like
Either that-
that's fine. Hold on, it's just the idea that it's not about like even guys picking up the thing. Like the problem I know on the other side is that like, well, if you say no, and then like guys will like there are guys or the stories of guys going just sort of, like, berserk on like they
So
just
there is,
they
like,
bitch and whine or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think Angelo is still right. I think in that it's important just to literally establish the line, and then you sort of
Yes.
deal with whatever fallout. If there is no fallout, great. If there is fallout, well, at least they know, and there's not like some stupid thing. And
True.
if they do on like they go on
Like,
the stupid asshole
From
tirade,
Nancy's example of earlier,
yeah,
if she says not right now, it's like, oh, because this is a special holiday, and because okay, I was a bit too forward.
No, it's
And you know what?
literally
yeah. Next week, no commitments. It'll be a better time. That's so smart of her. She's so smart. Yes, yes.
And yes, and
I'm just going to fabric stitch.
here's the thing. It's
all the
literally
embroidery. It's Valentine's is just a red bear.
It's absolutely the Dumb and Dumber like. So you're saying I
There's
have
a
a chance?
Yes.
Like when
Yes.
she's like, no, there's like
think-
literally no chance. There's like 0.00001. And it's like, so yeah?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
I
you'll
know.
think about it? It's
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, I did learn that the hard way. That like because I dated a lot especially when I was in high school and university. So
and
I did.
who wouldn't want to date you, Dio?
Oh.
Who would not want to date you?
So I had to learn
She's like,
how to say. I had to learn how to say no. And it was at first, especially as a young teenage woman, it was really hard because I would say no and I would be really bored because like that was just how I had learned through life because I was very competitive that I learned that I had to say no to things or people would interpret anything that wasn't a no as a yes,
Right.
which is just the way things are, unfortunately. But yeah, people would call me a bitch or would sometimes freak out or be really awful, and I just kind of learned. Like for me, it was like great. If I'm a bitch, I'm a bad bitch. I'm happy being a bad bitch.
Embrace
But
the bitch.
obviously, some people aren't very comfortable with that, and like. If you've been raised your whole life thinking that you're supposed to be somewhat more demure and quiet and gentle, it can be kind of hard to break out of that and remember that you can
for
be
sure.
you can be demure and quiet and gentle if you want to be, but like
You can still say no.
You can still say no, and
Yeah.
I think it's hard because some like
There's some assholes who don't understand.
there's some
no.
assholes who don't understand, and we're
Yeah.
also still moving into that space as a society where we're okay with people putting their foot down, having boundaries, and saying no, thank
Like,
you.
On the flip side, I will say that like in the times where I've had maybe like a mutual friend at first who were like more interested in me and I wasn't really interested in them, and maybe it is like more guy syndrome to be able to do so, but I have been able to just like it's just a no from me, dog. And,
Yeah, fair,
and it just
fair.
works. But and I'm not saying that obviously it's always a catch-all kind of thing, but I think again it's really important to just be like no
Communicate your
no
boundaries.
is a right answer.
No
Hinting is awful.
Also, no is okay. People just need to be okay with the fact that it's okay to say no, and it's
And it's okay to receive a no.
Exactly.
What it's not okay is to harass someone.
Yes.
Yes.
But that has
Harassment
nothing
is
to do with
bad.
just saying no. That just has to you not being an asshole.
Unless it's a
person.
situation like me and Angelo, where I'm saying, yes, Angelo, I like you. And Angelo's saying, yes, Dio, I like you. And I'm like, okay, so let's go out. And he's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, do I have to hit you with a metal bat that
I've
says
been
I
there.
love you? Or what do
Yeah.
you want?
Yeah, you like I love you before
I-
I've like really gone out with you. I go.
I was about to say that if you like someone, be straightforward about it because some guys are so fucking dense.
He's talking about himself.
Oh yeah,
I'm
and
still
it's
dense.
not just Dio either. My previous girlfriend as
He's
well.
so dense with girls. I don't get it.
Like for both of them,
Angela's a himbo.
they were practically
Oh, man.
tugging at my pants.
Do you know what himbo is?
And I was like, wait a
You
minute,
should
do you
explain
like
that.
me?
Yeah.
yeah,
What's
he
a
just-
himbo?
A himbo is a bimbo, but specifically for dudes.
Sort of cute, nice.
Cute, nice,
Cute,
bubbly,
nice.
like, objectively somewhat conventionally attractive.
So,
like
the-
people
a
like
weird-
It
them.
makes them attractive.
A weird thing.
Ah.
An example is, and people have disagreed, but I think I've pointed out every time that I think it's actually a correct definition. Johnny Bravo is a himbo.
Yes.
And people are like, well, he harasses women, and well, he doesn't really because he
No.
actually he backs off.
He backs off if they tell him
and
to
he's
go
always
away.
he remains like, yes, it's a little like it's a product of its time. It's a little bit on the 90s
It's a
side.
little
Yeah.
bit
But
over the line,
on the
but not
whole,
on the whole. He's just
he's a
really
himbo.
flirtatious
Okay.
and dumb.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
flirtatious, he's dumb, but he's ultimately kind and a good character.
Angelo,
Yeah.
what is the anime girl trope of the sweet girl who's nice, who guys like, and she doesn't get it?
I don't know if there is a trope for that.
Is there a nice girl trope for that?
Well, first of all,
I
that's
don't
just the
know.
reverse harem.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think that's primarily the reverse harem, because remember one thing that's important in the reverse harem is that the main central character who is being liked all the
Mhm.
time is essentially
Doesn't understand.
doesn't
Yeah,
under,
that's just
not just doesn't understand,
female
but there's
harem
sort of a Mary
protagonists.
Sue. There's sort of a character that
Yeah, they're stand-in. It's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like the
whether it's a male
it's kind
or-
of like the
or a male
Otome.
or a
It's like the
female.
Otome game main character.
It's what's her name from Fruits Basket.
Yeah.
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 She's
The-
sweet, she's
it's-
nice, she's kind.
Everybody likes her,
Everyone
but she
likes
doesn't
her.
realize that
She
everybody
doesn't
likes
have
her.
like, you might not be like she has a really special characteristic about her, but people still like her.
People still like her, yes.
The same thing from
It's Mary Sue-ish, yeah.
Oran High School Host Club, like
Yeah.
Haruhi, yeah.
Haruhi.
I would say, yeah, it is like the reverse harem protagonist,
Like,
which is
the only
basically just
thing-
the Otome game
right.
protagonist.
The only thing that made her
Maybe.
special in Oran was that she was a commoner. That was the big thing in
Yes.
like, school.
Commoner, and she's
But
non-binary.
no, that's not a special thing. That every Otome anime that I've seen is like poor girl meets a bunch of rich dudes and sometimes they're vampires.
And-
Fruits
and-
basket. Oh,
No,
yeah.
sometimes
she's a
there are
poor
horses.
girl.
Yeah, sometimes they are horses. But basically, the whole idea of like that kind of like trope, like the reverse harem or the Otome game,
Yeah.
like type of thing. It's the same idea as the regular harem, which is the idea that the main character is a front for you, the viewer,
Yeah.
I was
to
about to say,
experience the
the
romance.
main character is a pair of pants that you put on as the audience and wear. So
yeah.
that is the pants is the genre of that character.
Right.
Pants.
Pants.
Yeah.
You're the pants.
That character is a pair of pants that you wear, and they're made to be the most common denominator, and that is who they are.
Okay, fair. So, okay. Given that trope, would you say that you are the guy of that trope? I hope not.
Oh God, no! Because then I'd have to be rich.
Well, no.
Oh.
You'd have
Can I
to be
be-
a poor commoner who's surrounded by fancy rich women who
Yeah,
love
that's
you.
him,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay. There you go.
He
I
doesn't
wanna-
realize when
I
women
wanna-
are flirting with him at all.
Oh,
It's
God, no.
it's really cute. It is really cute.
You're...
I just want like general reactions to this, but like on sort of the like flip side of the same coin, like so like I'm pretty private about my actual like personal life. Like when I'm seeing somebody, I don't really be like, oh hey, like I want everyone to meet them or whatever.
Yeah,
But
fair.
like I'm in that position weirdly where it's like I due to whatever character flaws other people have, sometimes they'll say yes to a date with me. Or something like that. But it's more like I always have myself in a situation where like I have like several like girls or whatever that like they're sort of like interested and like we could date, but I always just don't bother going with it because I literally tell myself, not because I don't think that they like me, I can sort of tell I'm not
Right,
in
you
the
can
situation,
kind of, if you have
I
the
just-
social skills, you can suss out
Yeah.
if people like you or not.
but I feel like I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere or like have a lot of value long like sort of in the
Mm.
longer term, and I'm like, well, all right, and I
think
just kind
that's
of don't
just-
bother.
Well,
So
Well,
I
dating
think
somebody.
that's just a matter of like what you're looking for, right? Because different people look for different things. Sometimes people are looking for, I'm okay if I have a 2-week to 2-month relationship. Some people want something kind of more in the middle, where I'm like, I want to date for a
Right.
couple months, but maybe maybe we're not gonna set up a life together. And some people are like, I want to find my life partner.
I think the problem with me is that it stems from the idea that I'm okay with myself. Like
Yeah,
I'm very
you're-
happy
you-
to be
you
by myself
know-
as well.
You know that you don't need a romantic partner or a romantic life
yeah, like
partner
it's a super nice
to
thing.
find
Fulfill.
fulfillment.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's like if you find the right person, you'll be happy,
Great.
but
Yeah.
you're not actively seeking that person.
Yes.
So like the idea of having like a 2-week to 2-month or 6-month
It's sort of
Just
like
doesn't-
almost
doesn't
troublesome.
appeal to you.
worth it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird because like I know that there are some girls that literally if I ask them out and I know they'll say yes. Like it's not like I'm trying to be cocky about it. It's sort of
you just can tell.
I'm aware.
You have
I'm
that
aware.
vibe. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like,
But I don't really want to.
Yeah.
And I think that's valid.
Yeah. So really, in your head, it's just the worth, not worth.
And I don't know if I feel like that's sort of unfair to them too, because like there's if like in the sense that there's like the interest or whatever, but
I've known people who just want to find someone to pass Valentine's with. I have known people
Yep.
like that. It's not
Oh,
something
yeah.
to be ashamed of. It's like, okay, fine. If you
that,
just
that happens for Christmas too.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
same.
then
Like if you just
Christmas,
want someone to hang out with for
Yeah.
a little while, that's normal.
yeah.
Right.
But you know, if you know that that's all you want out of this,
Communicate it.
please let them know.
Yeah. I'm also the proxy
Communicate.
boyfriend sometimes.
nice Christmas present.
So this
Yeah.
was really interesting to me. So this is actually really related. So I'm pretty active in the Overwatch community. So the Overwatch community has like a really wide, I mean, like any video game community has a wide variety of people. You have your people who are like my age in their 20s. You have people who are a little bit older, like they're 30s, 40s. We have a couple people that you'll see who are in their 50s, like they're seasoned esports professionals or whatever. And then, of course, you have lots of people who are quite young, so they're like in their early teens. So I see all kinds of things, and I saw a really interesting tweet that made no sense to me at the time, and I was like, what? And then I realized it was from a 16-year-old, and I was like, this is your inexperience talking, because they were like, if you wouldn't marry someone, you shouldn't date them. Like, you should date someone with the intention of... And I'm like, do you meet someone... And, like, so I responded impulsively thinking this was, like, an adult take until I realized after. But I was like, do you meet someone and after 2 weeks of seeing them, you're like, yeah, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person? I'm like, oh, but you're 16, so you don't have the experience to understand
that's tough,
what,
man.
like, a long-term relationship looks like. And so my big thing is, like, some people only want a hookup. Some people just want to hang out with somebody for a night or two. Some people want to go on a fling for a month
And
or two.
some people are still figuring it out.
Some people don't know. Some people are like, I don't know if I want a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship.
Yeah, or some people are just like, I only want an open relationship.
I want an open relationship. Some people are like, I want a monogamous relationship. I want...
Something
No
polyamorous.
relationship.
I want something polyamorous. I don't know what my sexuality is. Maybe I'm not heterosexual.
But it is
Maybe
sort
I
of
am.
outrageous to think that like you'd only date someone if you think you're.
If you think you're
marry
marriable. And so
Because-
they're marriable because like it's just not a realistic expectation. But my thing is, whatever you're looking for at the time,
Yeah.
I think as long as you communicate it with people, people will understand. Like you will always find someone who is in, maybe you won't necessarily connect with them or be with them forever, but you'll always find someone who has an aligned relationship goal, so to speak, with you.
I would say the main, like a major concern, especially as you get older, I would say a really good thing about how to determine someone's eligibility for maybe a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
based on how much you like them, but also based on other factors.
Yeah.
Is how much
Oh, yeah.
would you like them if they didn't have a job?
Yeah, that's very true because
That's a pretty good one.
I think it's very easy, especially like when relationships are new, you do go through like a honeymoon phase, right? Where everything
Oh,
is-
absolutely.
course.
everything is happy and
Now that I
joy.
think about it, when we started dating, you had no job and I had a shitty job.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we're okay.
And that's honestly a better start, I think, a lot of the time, because when you start from sort of a lower economical standing,
It's not
you sort
a
of
factor.
see, yes, and you sort of see each other for kind of who you are at a very baseline kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not to say you guys were close to being homeless. It wasn't even like that.
It
but
was
I would
just
say
a
that
matter
the
of
idea of-
different
It
circumstance
was literally
than
you were
now.
a student,
Yeah.
and Angelo was
Worked
working an
retail.
entry level sort of job.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's just
That's just the way it
the
was
truth of
at
it.
the time.
But when if you met a dude or a girl who's like, whether they're making the same amount of money as you are,
making more, or whatever
whatever
else.
it is, and like economical considerations are important in a long-term relationship.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
you also have to realize that maybe in this economy, in this life,
Things
they
can
lose a job,
change.
and if you are like, well, I sort of like them, and I also really like the fact that they're making $70,000 a year or something like that.
Are you
and then
gonna
you're
like them if that
if
stops
that
being a
changes,
thing anymore?
right?
I
And
do
it's
think
like,
that's
not great.
a real important consideration. I
Yeah.
actually do agree with that a lot because I think like especially in relationships and like especially like with marriage, like people are always like you think about the good things in your partner. But the thing is, you should love your partner even when they're at their worst.
When they have nothing.
When they have
yeah.
nothing, when their life sucks, when your life sucks because their life sucks, can you still get through that or are you still willing
Right.
to work through that together?
At
Because-
the very least, if you are dating someone for their money, make sure that's their fetish.
And make sure you have an exit plan.
Yeah.
True.
Like-
Very true.
I think it's not even just with money too. It's like when you think about like a long-term relationship, can you live with that person?
Can
Yeah.
you handle your finances together?
Can you handle your finances together? Because like, can you handle your finances? Can you live together? Because I have had friendships. I think every single person.
Pro tip: don't date anyone who can't handle their finances.
Ooh.
Yeah, just not a good idea.
This
Mhm.
is yeah.
It's not a good idea.
I
That is the
know,
only real
folks.
piece of dating advice I'll
that's
ever
actually
give.
it's a generally important thing because we're not like you say that where it's like, well, someone's like, oh, I just buy stuff off Amazon all the time. It's like, yeah, but there's also like you could say like someone has an addiction and that sort of
And
could-
that
like,
kind of thing,
and I'm
and
not
that
even
can-
talking about like a drug addiction. It could be like a gambling
A gambling addiction,
or
a
anything
spending
like that, right?
addiction.
Like some kind of thing. But
That's why I'm terrified of the term retail therapy. Like I
your
understand.
long term
Yeah, like-
well being is not good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. So it's like for me, it's always like, can you live with, like, that's why I say, like, can you live with that person when they're at their lowest of their lows? Can you live with the person knowing that they may have a spending addiction, or they may impulsively do legitimately do retail therapy anytime something they hit a bump
on
in the
the
road.
flip side, question for each of you, even though like two of you are obviously in one relationship, would you be okay with if you didn't make any money and your partner was only the breadwinner? Like let's say they make 100 and
Dio got to pay rent.
This is a realistic question.
No,
right?
straight up, I did not live with her until she could pay rent.
That's fair. I think.
So you'd want no, even if you were making enough for both of you, like Dio gonna pay rent?
Dio got to pay rent.
Okay.
Damn.
Is the rent always monetary in compensation?
Is
Here's the thing. The way that I see it, if anything ever happens between us, she has to have her own exit plan, and a job is a big part of that.
Okay, yeah.
If
so
the
that
only
leads into my
reason
answer.
she's staying with me is because she needs me, fuck that noise.
Yeah, that would be messy. So I think
You don't. You
think-
have to cede. You cannot leech.
I think my answer was the opposite side of that same coin, actually, because I wouldn't be happy if, like, let's say Angela made like $200,000 a year and I could just not work. I think I would still work. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily work at the same place, but there's no way that I would like.
Or would you bother doing job money, like jobs for money, or would you rather just do
I would
charity
do
work or
something.
something?
No, like I would still
Contribution
I
is
would
what
still
you're trying to
do
say.
No. I would still do something where I'm earning money. Like I would still
Okay.
have some kind of job, whether it's part time or
Fair enough.
something. Because I don't think I would be comfortable living and being dependent on someone who's
Right.
also my romantic partner.
Nancy, what's your take?
I absolutely agree, because as someone who was raised in an era where you were taught that being independent is the best thing you can do for yourself,
Yeah.
that is something
So-
that I've always valued, not necessarily because like I might need an exit plan, but because it's fulfilling for me. So
Yeah, same.
Dio, the plan is, if our men for some reason are making a shit ton of money and they don't need us to contribute to house finances,
We
we're
starting a
just-
business.
Yeah, we are.
But here's
That's
the
gonna
thing.
happen.
So I will answer the question myself, probably differently from everybody else, in the sense that I would, and maybe you might still excuse this. I would not mind being a house husband.
Okay. That's
So,
great.
I-
But in the
To
sense that like
your-
I'd also be like
so-
I want to have kids if I ever get to have kids.
Yeah.
I would also like to take care of like kids and just be like, if my partner made X amount of
Yes.
money and I can stay home and look after the kids, I would be happy to doing that.
Dio, on the flip side, if you and I made way more money and our men were just staying home, would you be okay with them
So
not working?
That's the thing is, I think I would be okay with it.
But see, like that's what I mean by
That's
contributions.
the difference.
earlier.
I wouldn't entirely be okay. I would need at least a
See,
part-time job.
I think like we have the same perspective where we wouldn't want to be
because
the
well, here's the
breadwinner.
yeah. Here's the other part of
I don't
about
even
that
mind
is
being
like
the breadwinner or not. You have way more earning potential than I do.
Okay, wait. Let me,
Actually, you already make more money than I do.
listen, breadwinner wasn't the word I was looking for.
that's not the point. But the other part of it was like in the real world, like I understand that your other concern, Angela, was pretty valid about like if for some reason things don't work
I
out
need to
between
know
us. Hold on.
that she could leave at
Hold
any
on.
given point and chooses not to.
That's fair.
That is
that's
a
She
fair.
very
can live.
important-
She can live with yeah. But I that's
Important
fine.
validation, okay?
But like aside from just the validation, just back to the original reason about like I like if you guys didn't work out and then but she would still like, be able to land on her feet, and I think that's valid. But I also think that in real world scenario, like Dio's skills or your skills or Nancy's or mine, our career skills don't exactly expire.
Yeah.
So it's not like even if my partner made like $500,000 a year, which is a lot of money, and I don't ever imagine making that money. But like if I were like house husband and I weren't working a job, I would and stuff fell out and I had to get a job again, I could do that anyways.
Yeah.
You could be like, I don't have
Okay.
as much savings. I'd be like, well,
I
You
have
didn't
a
sound prenup,
related
no.
example to yours that
Yeah.
is going to sound like completely opposite to my earlier answer. So when I was younger,
yeah,
and I was like, before I was dating Angelo, so back then I primarily dated women.
mhm.
Not because I don't like women
Bimbos,
now, but
not
it's just,
himbos.
it's just yeah, exactly. But I primarily dated women. Now I knew for myself that I don't want to have kids, in the sense that I don't
Sure.
want like
You have pets.
if I
Pets are
have pets
kids.
and I don't want to go through the process of giving
Apes.
birth or being pregnant.
Yep, I hear
and
you.
I don't
Oh,
want to do
goodness.
that, and I don't also want to spend money and go through a horrible process of having
right.
someone be a surrogate, and I don't really want to be a parent. But my thought process was, well, say I meet a lovely woman and we decide to get married, and she really, really wants to have kids and be a stay-at-home mom.
I think you wouldn't get that.
I think we
personally.
wouldn't, but
You would never.
if that were to happen,
Yeah.
and I
That
and
conversation happens before you get married.
that happens like well
Right.
before we get married.
But anyways.
but let's say we get there and she decides that she wants to have kids and she wants to have her own kids. I would be okay with her being a stay-at-home mom. Or similarly, if there were some cursed scenario where me and Angelo decide to have children, if Angelo wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, I would be okay with that.
Angelo would be the seahorse of fathers.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing.
You'd
though.
be like,
Seahorse
I will carry the child.
This is going to sound odd to a lot of people,
Yes.
but if we ever have children, I would rather adopt one, and I would want specifically like a Mexican or an Asian child.
Cool.
Asian?
I guess.
He wants to
Anything
fill
that's
out
not black or white.
he wants to fill out the rainbow.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
human spectrum, yo.
I
think
like
that
how
would be
like there's
funny.
no other color other than white, Mexican, Asian, or black.
Well, I mean, like Middle Eastern could potentially
Yeah, there's like First
Uh,
Nations.
look. I
Aboriginal.
feel like
He wants a child that looks visually very distinct from the two of us.
yeah.
Oh, I
'Cause
get
I
it.
think that would be funny.
No, I also get it because okay, so here's the thing. When wedding planning was happening in like my circle of friends, there was always the ever looming question of, are you going to take your husband's name? And the usual answer that people give when they say yes is that they want to share a last name with their child if they have kids. And they want to not run into issues with airport security when they're traveling with their kids.
Yeah, like,
because
I've never
if
even
you
heard that.
if
Never
you
heard
It's a
that.
big thing.
do not
Custody's a big
look,
thing.
oh totally.
Yeah, if you don't look like your kid and
Yeah.
you don't share a name, it becomes hell.
Yeah.
On
getting
Earth.
getting through borders.
So this
It's real.
happened to my mom with me.
Oh no.
So
So you have firsthand experience
yes,
about
so
this.
when I was a lot younger,
You have your father's last name.
Yes, I have my father's last name.
Establish that.
My parents are not married and have never been married. So my mom has had her maiden name.
They've
her
been
whole
a
life.
common law forever, basically.
Forever,
Yeah.
yes. So my mom had me, I'm her child, like her
Right.
biological child with my father, but I got the light skin curse, which is very common with black people, which is that when you're very, very young, like an infant,
you look
you
like
have,
a white kid.
You have no melanin.
Pigment, yeah.
Like none.
Yeah.
So if you look at pictures of me, and my mom used
I
to
want
get
to see these
stopped-
pictures. I've never
My
seen
mom used to get
Oh.
stopped on the street all the time because people thought that she was a caregiver for a Chinese family.
yes.
them. Oh, yeah.
Like people thought she was a caregiver for a Chinese
That's
family.
funny.
So that
So-
happens a lot.
So
I want to
she-
see these pictures.
So if she took me to the air, like when
you
I
traveled,
was a
yes,
baby,
yeah.
they went to Jamaica and my mom went with me and they were like, whose kid is this? Like, this is not your child. Like, she doesn't have the same last name as you. She doesn't even remotely look like you.
Yeah.
Like, thank God she was also traveling with my dad,
Right.
right? And he was like, no, this is my common law wife and our child.
Right.
Like, we have the same last name. It's my
I think
kid.
those. I want to say that those conventions might start changing, like slowly, but they might because fewer and fewer,
certainly
getting-
hope
fewer and
so.
fewer
The world-
women in the Western world are taking.
Yes.
But I would also point out that in Asian circles, like women usually keep their last names.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, that is
and
true.
I want Asian circles. I say Asian circles. A lot of other
other
non-Western
people
societies tend
don't
to just yeah.
do the name
It's
adoption
a
thing.
it's a Western thing.
Yeah.
Also, just because like as our cultures and areas of the world are more and more, I don't want to say homogenizing, but like
We're
like
mixing a lot
but, like we're
more.
mixing a lot, so we're starting to see more
Yeah.
diverse looking couples, and as a result, diverse looking children.
And holy cow, halfies are so pretty.
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
halfies are either pretty or below average.
Really? How?
It's
Cruel.
absolutely the truth. It's
No.
weird. It's absolutely true, and it's weird. It's
You know
either
what?
they're good looking or they kind of just
You know
aren't
what?
good
I
looking.
believe you because okay, so a lot
I
of
hate
people.
you may not love it.
So
It's just
it's kind of
weirdly
so my
how the
dad-
puzzle pieces fall together.
My dad is technically a halfie, which makes me a quarter.
Yeah.
Of
what?
My dad is half Portuguese, half Jamaican.
Okay.
Cool.
So his dad is white, and my grandmother is black.
Yeah.
And so as a result, I guess technically I'm a quarter white, and so
Yeah.
people would, especially because I'm very light skinned,
For context,
and used to-
imagine Lando Calrissian, but with a very charismatic accent.
That is the dad,
Yeah.
not Dio.
yeah, that's what my dad
Anyways.
looks like.
Yeah.
And so as a result, I'm very light skinned, and I used to always wear my hair straight. Like now I wear my hair more afro curly, or I'll wear braids. and
Because
things
that's
like that.
actually your regular.
Because
yeah.
that's what I like. But I used to like chemically
it.
straighten my
Yeah,
hair
yeah,
and wear
yeah.
my hair super straight. So people would think I was halfy all the time. Like they would ask, "Oh, are you mixed?" Or like, "What are you mixed with? Are you like half?"
Yeah.
I would get everything, like half Chinese, half Arab, half
Right,
blah,
right,
blah,
right,
blah,
right.
this, that, and everything. And I was always, I remember in the back of my mind, I was like, are they saying I'm pretty or are they saying I'm ugly? Because I
Oh,
don't
no.
know.
That's weird. I think they're just honestly trying to guess.
I think they
I
were
was-
just
like
trying
if you
to
if
guess.
you, I think if you sort of reflect back on, they probably weren't saying anything. They were just like,
They were just trying to figure
you're
it out.
not. You're just clearly not of one ethnic
One-
background.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, going back to the last name thing really quick before we actually end this episode because we've really talked through this. I think this is not an actual goal because it would be stupid, but it's also not that hard because my last name Wong is a very common last name.
Yes.
I'll just marry a girl with my last name.
And then
Oh.
and then you'll have to deal with it.
Yeah, like
That's
and you're like,
huge,
well, are you
Wayne.
worried that they might be related? I'm like, no, because there's
No.
literally like
Millions
billion
like
of you.
100 million of us
Yeah.
with this last name. I'm not worried.
And on the
Yeah.
same end, if I find another person called Vanderbeck,
Ask them about the ring.
Yeah.
Ask about the ring.
Ask them about
Do
the
you
ring.
have an Amy in your family?
Yeah.
Is she happily married
Have you met
now?
someone else with your last name? Because I've never met anyone with your last name.
no.
No.
I've
Okay.
met people close.
Tavares. There's a
Oh, there's so many.
yeah.
Really?
There's
So many.
there's an NHL player with the last name
Yeah,
Tavares.
Johnny Tavares.
But
We are distant
he-
cousins.
Yeah, but he appears very white.
Yep.
But he
Yep.
does have some like Spanish
Do
or
any
sort
of you
Portuguese
know
ears.
any other Situs? At
Yes.
I
all?
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
think
know,
I
but
do.
I've seen the name.
I have a very, very small number of encounters with people who have this last name who are not family.
Yeah.
Very small.
Oh.
Anyway,
Anyways.
this has been Sideways Dating Advice and Conversation by
Yes.
your Otafest podcast host.
You're so
Happy-
welcome.
Valentines, whatever. Make it whatever you want to be. If you
Happy
want to
mid-February.
if you want to order an extra large pizza and eat it at home by yourself,
You
do
can
it.
do that.
Yes.
Hell, I encourage that.
yeah.
Or
go
share
for
it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
buy,
you can
your-
share too.
buy yourself a drink from the top shelf.
Get pizzas,
Exactly.
get drinks, get bros, play games.
Bye.
Bye.